Audio check 1 2 3. Audio check 1 2 3. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing YouTube channel. We are back here tonight and the Czech Republic in Brno for this round 2 of the World Touring Car Championship here at Motive on Project Cars 2 for season 15 on Project Cars 2 on the PlayStation platform. And we're just currently in the first practice session of the night, getting ready to go for the first race of the night, which will follow it. Obviously it's a reverse grid based on the championship standings for the first race of tonight. And also in the touring cars there is a mandatory ballast rule where you have to carry a certain weight which is given to you before the race based on your championship position. So that obviously makes things a little bit more exciting. But yeah, currently coming towards the end of this practice session, we've unfortunately lost LFRD from the practice, and it's too late to get back in, so it looks like he is going to miss out on the first race, which is a bit of a shame. Obviously we're missing Smokey Devil because he's racing with another league. We're also missing Revolt Detailer, couldn't make it this week either, and we're also missing Big Blue's not here either, so Big Blue hopefully will be joining us for the second race. But yeah, missing quite a few people here tonight. We've got 13 drivers currently out on track at the moment, which is a shame because I'd have hoped to have had a full grid, but nonetheless it is what it is. We've got Mark Afford there saying, I'm watching from hospital, so I can't join you. Hopefully you're all good, Mark. Hopefully it's a planned visit to the hospital when you're in good nick. Good to see you in the comments tuning in. Nonetheless, we've also got Emma there saying good luck all. Emma, obviously other half of Aussie Albie, who's currently sat in 11th place in this practice session at the moment, as we watch Aussie coming over the line and improved significantly there up into P5. So nice up there from Aussie. John Boy at 205.8. I have a funny feeling that might extending the track a little bit, because I don't think that surely isn't a representative lap time there from John Boy. That is ridiculously quick. Like the fastest lap I've ever seen around here was a high 206. So yeah, I'm not 100% on that one, but if it is a genuine lap time, then fair play. But I certainly have my doubts over that one. Got Mark saying I'm all good. It's Lily that's in, mate. Oh, okay, fair play. Hopefully Lily's doing all right then, Mark. And yeah, obviously hope it's a planned visit, as I say, or some kind of known issue going on at least. But we've got John Boy who's coming through the final sector. Let's actually see whether or not he's on if that lap was a genuine lap, because I don't think it was. I think he might have cut part of the track there to do a 205.8. as we're watching him coming into the final sector here. He's 8 tenths down, so yeah, I think there was something going on that fast lap. Nonetheless though, no slouch, doing it in the low to mid 206s. So yeah, he's definitely got pace here tonight as John Boy, obviously our 3-time champion of the touring car division here at Motive Racing. And obviously his first appearance of the season tonight as well is John Boy, so he'll have a light car, which could really pay dividends for him tonight as he's coming through the final corner and up towards the line. What is John Boy going to be able to put on the board as he comes up towards the line? Comes over now, and obviously didn't improve because his fastest lap was exceptionally quick. But I think that's going to be that for the practice session anyway, nonetheless, guys. So it's going to be obviously a reverse grid based on the championship standings. I didn't actually read out the grid order in game chat to the guys, so if anybody's listening, I'm going to read it out in a second. So if you want, just take a pause, and listen up if you want to know the grid order. Basically, I think the guys can work it out anyway, because it's essentially going to be a reverse of what the handicap system is. So, or rather, it will be actually the same order as the handicap system. which I have posted in touring car chat. So basically it's going to be yeah, a reverse of that. So it's going to be Charlie P1, John Boy P2, Thomas P3, Pop the Brown P4, Part Pooper P5, Thor P6, Jay P7, Team P8, Nick P9, Craig P10, Aussie P11, Mike P12, sorry, Cobb P12, Mike P13. So just to run through that again, that is Charlie Goff P1, John Boy P2, Thomas P3, Pop the Brown P4, Part Pooper P5, Thor P6, Jay P7, Team P8, Nick P9, Craig P10, Aussie P11, Cobb P12, Mike P13. But we're just waiting on Aussie Albie to press the magic button, and we should be getting ready to go here for this first race of the night here at Brno, round 2 of this 15-round season here for season 15 on Project Cars 2 here for the World Touring Car Championship. So shame to see we only got 13 drivers on the grid here tonight for the first race of the night. Obviously we lost LFRD due to a disconnection, and we've also we're also without a couple of regular drivers here tonight as well. Hopefully Robert Detailer will be joining us next week, and who knows if Smokey will be with us, because he seems to have boycotted us tonight to race in an event at another league, which I'm not too chuffed about, I must admit. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting night nonetheless here with plenty of drivers, and I'm sure lots of opportunities for some good, exciting and clean racing. We've got Mark there in the comments, says good luck lads. That's Emma there, who was actually racing on Tuesday night at the Oschersleben in the GT4s, and did a reasonably decent job, considering, well, all things considered, but especially when you consider the fact that he jumped in as quite a late stand-in, was just online at the time, and hopped in, and yeah, it was a good reappearance from him. But yeah, good to see him chiming in and supporting his mates here on the grid here tonight as we're getting ready to go for the formation lap. So it's going to be a slow formation lap, and it is a long lap here at Brno as well, so it's going to be a little while until we actually get some racing action here. It's going to be about who can keep the tyres up to temperature and who can maintain their concentration, because you're driving around for quite a long time, not really applying yourself, not really getting yourself stuck in. So a lot of people might be just caught unawares or caught napping at the start. Who knows what's going to happen here. I'm currently alone in the commentary box here tonight. Was meant to have Emo Guy alongside me, but he's just not turned up yet, which is a bit of a shame. So yeah, it's not been the most ideal of nights here tonight, but nonetheless we get off the line, and we're now coming around for this formation up here at Brno tonight for the opening race of the night. Charlie Goff will be leading us around, starting on pole position due to the fact that he wasn't here last week, so he's obviously a regular driver signed up to the championship, which means that he does get to start from the front of the grid. But John Boy P2 is going to be poised to potentially ride off into the sunset here at the front if he can negotiate Charlie. But Charlie's not an easy customer. Obviously he will not make it easy for John Boy. We know that Charlie's got talent and speed of his own, but obviously he's going to be a bit rusty now because he hasn't played the game. He says he hasn't actually touched this game since the final round of last season here at Motive. Just to put that into perspective, the previous season, season 14 on Project Cars 2, ended at the beginning of May. So he has not touched this game in 4 months, so God help him. Although saying that, I always find driving the Megane, it's almost like riding a bike. I know it's a cliche, but like driving the Megane in this game, it genuinely feels so right. Everything about it just feels like you pick it back up, it's like you've never been away. Love the Megane, but then again, that's personal preference for me. I find that other cars in this game, if you spend a long layoff without having played it, there's certain cars where you struggle to get the fundamentals back, but the Renault Megane, for me, it's like that. It's straight away. Oh no, somebody's hit the wall on the formation lap here. So Thomas was moving around to get his tyres nice and warm. He's now going to have to make a trip to the pit lane to get that fixed, because that is big damage. I wonder if the boys are going to say to him, look Thomas, we're going to hold up and let you go and pit and come out, or what they're going to do here. I know that the guys here at Motive that are quite sportsmanlike, generally they're quite nice guys, so I think they are going to be doing exactly what I've just said there, or maybe they're not, I'm not sure. No, actually no, they're just letting him regain his place, I think, so Thomas will take the start, or are they going to let him go and pit? They might actually be letting him pit here, and obviously that's good to see if they do, using a bit of common sense, always nice to see. So yeah, Thomas is going to come through and is going to stop in the pit lane, so the guys are going to hold up. They might have to park it here in order to not get round in time. I don't know whether or not he's going to have damage he's going to have to fix here, or how long that damage is going to take to fix. I think they might end up doing another formation lap, which is not going to be ideal because obviously it's a very long lap here. Hopefully they just get on with it. Ideally, I'd just like them to get on with it, but let's see what they do here. Right, I think we're underway. Are we underway? Are we racing? Yes. Here we go, into turn one. So it's Charlie from John Boy with Potler Brown in third place, ahead of Park Pooper. You've got Jay there looking to the inside, Doris steering into turn one, but he's too far back at the moment. You've got Ozzy attacking to the outside of Craig at the moment as well. But Thomas there in the pits at the end of the formation lap after having clouted into the wall in the mid part of the lap. So he's struggling a little bit here. But Charlie and John Boy breaking away a little bit from everybody else at the moment. Potler Brown there in third, ahead of Park Pooper, followed by Doris, who's defending the inside from Jay still as they come into turn three. But very clean first few corners here on this opening lap. Not helped by the fact that they were all a bit spread out, I think. So obviously, I think some people were expecting another formation lap, but we did go green flag. So we are getting on with it now. And Charlie and John Boy absolutely bumper to bumper at the moment. I said before, John Boy looking to get on with this as quickly as he can. These two making their seasonal reappearances. They're both strong drivers and usually up there at the sharp end of the points. They're not used to starting at the front from the first races of the night. Sometimes the final race of the night they might have a stinker in the middle race and end up starting at the front, but generally the first race of the night is unknown territory for these guys. But we see there Mike having a bit of contact there with Cobb, as these two, the top two in the championship, dicing it out. They're still the back two at the moment. Just goes to show the class of the field here for the touring car championship. The fact that the top two in the championship are not making very quick progress through this pack here. But Jay down the inside of Doris Deer, pushed him a little bit wide, a little bit naughty there from Jay. Doris might be vulnerable here to Team MW, who's looking to the outside here as they come into the S's here, and Team MW looking to try and throw one up the inside, but Doris Deer is going to hold on to that one for the time being. Jay up into P5 after his very late braking manoeuvre there on Doris Deer, as John Boy now looking to the inside of Charlie Goff into the final a couple of corners here. He's got himself well alongside here as John Boy down the inside he goes. Charlie's going to surely go for a cutback here. Can he get the exit coming out onto the start finish straight and use the slipstream to his advantage? John Boy has taken the lead of the race and looks to have got a good exit here out onto the start finish straight. So John Boy now with the ascendancy here in the early stages of this first race of the night. Potler Brown still defending from Park Pooper at the moment as they're coming down the start finish straight. Can Park Pooper get around him here? Potler Brown defending the inside line coming into turn one. Park Pooper's going to have to go around the long way here, and he's not going to be able to do it for the time being, as we watch the rest of them coming through the line astern at the moment. But John Boy already starting to pull the gap to Charlie, almost a second now between those two already. Park Pooper still knocking on the door of third place here. Potler Brown though parking his car in the right places as he looks to try and defend the middle lane here. Park Pooper looking to the outside coming into turn three, still too far back at the moment as Team MW is trying to attack on the back of Doris Din. Nick's trying to defend from Craig as well in this battle for 8th place. Ozzy right there behind them, and Mike and Cobb still 11th and 12th in the early stages of this race, which is unbelievable here. So those two obviously were the classes of the field last week at Silverstone National. This time around they have not been able to make much headway. Obviously everybody's so close in terms of overall pace. Oh no, Ozzy Albie tags the rear of Craig, and Ozzy gets tagged behind there by Cobb. That was just wrong place, wrong time there for Cobb. He had nowhere to go. Ozzy was a little bit aggressive there on his attack on Craig, and Craig drops down a couple of places there, but Cobb there finished the job off on Ozzy, and unfortunately for Ozzy he's down to 12th place due to, I think he can only really have himself to blame for that one, because he was a little bit too aggressive poking his nose in there on Craig. It was a late move and he was a little bit too far back. But Potler Brown still running in third place, ahead of Park Pooper, followed by Jay Doris Deer and Team MW on the back of this pack at the moment. Nick Lavilla and Mike not too far behind either in 8th and 9th. Cobb obviously with the contact, the minimal slightly contact with Ozzy is dropped a couple of seconds here to Nick and Mike, and he's also got Craig for company as well. So these two sort of like collateral damage in Aussie Albie's accident there, which he's currently way down the order because of. But John Boy's still pulling away from Charlie. They got 2 seconds now between the front two, but both of these two are pulling away from Pot the Brown and Park Pooper, who's now looking to the outside as Park Pooper on Pot the Brown. Can he get it all the way around the long way at the penultimate corner here? You have the inside for the final corner, bit of door banging there between them as Park Pooper there squeezes his way through. Now Jay's looking to try and attack with him as well, as Jay gets a good exit coming out to the start finish straight. He's now looking to the inside. Are we going to be potentially 3 wide here down the start finish straight? This is close between them. Park Pooper on the outside with Pot the Brown in the middle and Jay down the inside into turn 1 as Pot the Brown goes late on the brakes, keeps it down the middle, although Jay's hugging the inside line, just tagging the curve a little bit there. Contact there between Jay and Pot the Brown. Pot the Brown still there on the outside, ever so close racing here between these guys. Jay gets a reasonable enough momentum here coming out into this straight down towards turn 3 as Park Pooper looking to the inside here on both of these guys. Jay trying to go around the outside of turn 3. He's not going to do that. Pot the Brown still holding on to third place by the skin of his teeth here. Jay keeping ahead of Park Pooper in 4th, but Jay's got the inside of a turn 4 and they're still side by side here, but Jay can't get it done and Pot the Brown still holding on to that one, and Park Pooper there moving through ahead of Jay as well, and Jay might lose another place here because he's got Doris Deer looking to his inside. Doris Deer backs out that one and Doris Deer takes out TMW. He didn't realise that TMW was on his left hand side in his rear view mirrors, didn't see him there. Doris Deer was moving back onto the racing line, backing out of his move on Jay, and it ends up taking out TMW, and both of those two have got damage now as well. As Mike now on the back of Jay and Park Pooper. Jay barges his way through past Park Pooper up into 4th place as he's got the inside now for this next corner and gets that move done. Jay up into 4th place there, but chaos going on there between TMW and Doris Deer. Doris Deer didn't see TMW on his left hand side, was well alongside coming into the braking zone, and unfortunately both of those two with damage here in what's still the relatively early stage of this race. Only lap 4 of this first race of the night. What a shame for both of those two to have really hurt their race so far in this one. But John Boy out the front is completely oblivious to all of the goings on in the background here. He's got 2 seconds over Charlie. Charlie continuing to pull the gap out to this pack here, who is still battling over 3rd place. You've got a train of cars here. It's currently 5 cars battling over the podium places. You've got Cobb and Craig still fighting over 8th and 9th. Team MW running just behind Cobb and Craig at the moment. Got away with that one relatively lightly compared to Doris Deer. Aussie there still running in P12 at the moment, but there's your leader John Boy and there's your 2nd place man Charlie Goff at the moment, as we've got Senna there saying hi. Welcome Senna, good to see you. One of our admins and coordinators for the F1 League on a Friday night, as we got Pot the Brown here looking to the outside. He's got the run here on Jay. Jay's now going to have to defend because Park Pooper's looking to the inside as well. Jay's surely going to have to back out of this one. Park Pooper there with the inside. Jay trying to hang it around the outside. Bit of contact there as they rub doors. Park Pooper runs onto the grass a little bit. Jay's going to get a decent exit here coming out of turn 1, and we'll have the momentum here down this straight, and we'll be able to use the slipstream off of the Pot the Brown as well to cement his position there ahead of Park Pooper. Now Mike looking to try and attack on Park Pooper, looking to the outside here. Jay also looking to the outside of Pot the Brown, tucks back in for the time being, and Mike there tucking in on Park Pooper at the moment as well. So no changes there between those guys for the time being. Pot the Brown still just ahead of these drivers here. Park Pooper trying to go around the outside here of Jay, but can't do it. And Mike now looking to try and get the cut back here on Park Pooper, and he gets that done beautifully there. There's Mike up into 5th place. Nick DeVille looking to try and attack on the back of Park Pooper as well, but can't do it at the moment. Doris Deer in the pits at the end of lap 4 to get that big damage fixed. Obviously he took the brunt of it because he had the momentum of both himself and obviously Team MW as well. He was the one who went into the wall. Team MW was the one who pushed him, albeit it was Doris Deer who was the catalyst for the collision in the first place. Oh, there's tyres going flying there. I don't know who pushed them, but I can hear Jay shouting in the game chat. I don't know if he's happy about something, but Pot the Brown's still running in the final podium place at the moment. And yeah, what a race it is currently for this 3rd spot. What is now a 7-car battle here for a podium. Charlie's still pulling away from these. He's also losing time to John Boy as Mike here looking to the outside of Jay, coming into the S's. Jay there going a little bit deep. That might allow Mike a run here coming up the hill, as Jay there taking a bit too much on the exit there, and Mike's surely going to get the run on him up the hill. He is up into 4th place there with Mike, and now tucks in behind Pot the Brown. Jay's got damage on the front of the car as well. His front bumper's hanging off there, so maybe he might be losing a bit of pace due to that. We've also lost a driver from this first race of the night. That's Doris Deer who we've lost, so hopefully he'll be back for the final race of the night here. But Nick here on the inside of Cobb coming out of the final corner. Nick though gets the run out onto the start finish straight and holds on for now. Park Pooper there on the inside of Jay going into turn 1. No changes from the rest of them at this point, but John Boy continuing to extend his gap at the moment over Charlie Goff, running in second place. Mike though has got a good run here on Pot the Brown. Can he pick one of the place here? Can Mike move himself into P3 here? He's going to try around the outside of turn 3. But tucks in now. Jay still trying to defend from this pack of cars. Park Pooper's got ahead of Jay though, up into P5, and Jay obviously vulnerable with that damage as well. It's got Nick and Cobb waiting in the wings. Mike though looking to the outside of Pot the Brown here. He's going to try and go all the way around the outside. Pot the Brown though positioning his McGann on the inside. Mike there, big slide, but keeps himself alongside, and this could be a great move here from Mike if he can pull this one off. He's got the inside. This next lap down. Oh, contact between him there. Mike there got a little bit loose. Oh, that was dodgy there, and Pot the Brown off onto the gravel, and he's going to be pretty peeved with that one, I'm sure. Difficult to know from the trackside cameras. Obviously we'll have to get an onboard of that, but I reckon Mike may have gone into him there. I think Pot the Brown definitely left more than enough space, and maybe Mike having to take that tight line caused his back end to step out of it, which momentarily caused him to lose control. Pot the Brown, unfortunately for him, coming off way worse in that one. Jay though in the meantime is on the back of Park Pooper here, looking to try and get his 4th place back if he possibly can. Cobbin, Nick the Villa and Craig still right there behind these guys at this point, but Mike leading this train of cars now. Can Mike try and pull away from these and try and chase after Charlie Goff, who's running in 2nd place at the moment, and has got a very, very solid gap back to Mike. So Charlie Goff currently playing his cards right to get a P2 in his seasonal debut here for the Touring Car Championship. That's Jay there, a bit wide going out of the final corner, and that's going to potentially allow Cobb to get him down the start-finish straight, but Jay's still alongside Park Pooper here. As we've got Nick now throwing a little feint to the inside in the background. Into turn 1 we go. Cobb down the inside of Jay, gets the move done up into P5. Jay riding over the grass there a little bit, trying to get a cut back. As Park Pooper there trying to keep ahead of Cobb. Cobb's though going to have a run coming down towards turn 3. But Park Pooper's got that one covered for now. Cobb there now looking to the inside, trying to defend. As Nick the Villa's looking to the outside of this quintet in front of him. Well, yeah, technically he's the back of the quintet. He's got a quartet in front of him. He's part of the quintet. But in the meantime, Mike is pulling away from these guys. He's now running in a comfortable 3rd place and closing in on Charlie Goff now as well. See, Craig there was looking to the inside of Jay, but couldn't make it happen. Jay running a little bit wide there. Maybe Craig's going to get the cut back here. Jay starting to really struggle with that damage, you can see. Hasn't got the confidence in the car that he had in the early part of the race. See Craig once again looking to the inside there on Jay, trying to put him off a little bit. Does Jay go deep this time? Not really. Holding his line quite nicely this time around. Mike is putting absolute daylight between himself and this pack behind him, and you can see here the gap, only 4 seconds now between Charlie and Mike. Mike was almost 2 seconds quicker than Charlie on the previous lap. The gap's just over 4 seconds, so if Mike continues to gain at this rate, he will be on the back of Charlie as we start the final lap of the race. So potentially might iron up a P2 here in this opening race of the night. Obviously it'll be the first race this season he hasn't won, because he won all 3 races last week at Silverstone National, but saying that, you couldn't really expect him to get the win here in this first race tonight, because he did start in 12th place. Or was it? No, it was 13th place he started actually, so started a long way down. And yeah, you can't really expect too much of him in that scenario. But a P2 would be absolutely remarkable given the circumstances. Nick getting close to the back of Jay now. Jay's been passed by these drivers behind him. He's been passed by Park People, Cobb, Craig. Now he might be able to. Now he might be about to get passed by Nick Levillo as well. Nick though tagging the tyres there. That would have given him a bit of a damage on the front. Not as bad as Jay's, but it's something to make him think here. In the meantime, Charlie's responded to Mike's pressure. Was 3/10 quicker than Mike on the last lap. Was Charlie Goff. So Mike there, was he just potentially losing a bit of pace, or did he make a mistake, or is that Charlie now just upping his game a little bit, knowing that Mike's closing that gap? Charlie looking a lot safer in P2 than he was before. There is Mike in the foreground. You can see he's still extending his gap over these drivers behind. Park Pooper now actually extending his gap to Cobb as well. So Cobb, Craig, Jay, Nick still in a train of cars, but Park Pooper now seems to be making a break for it as well here. Seems to be trying to get away from the peloton, as it were. John Boy got out of the peloton at the beginning of the first lap, and since then did not look back. He's currently 11 seconds clear of Charlie Goff, who's running in second place. Charlie in turn 4 seconds clear of Mike, who's in third. There's Park Pooper, who's actually been closed in a bit by Cobb on this last lap. Cobb now extending to Craig a little bit, saying that it's ebbing and flowing between these drivers right now, pretty much from 5th down to 8th, so you've got 4 of them still close. Pot the Brown's not too far for these guys either. Obviously Ozzy Albi with his spin early on, down in P10. Team MW 11th place, obviously had his big incident with Doris, which obviously cost Doris his race. And Thomas, we all saw, got his damage on the formation lap, had to come in for a very early pit stop, and seemingly has picked up more damage out there as well since then. John Boy 2:06.9 on that last lap. He is in another league here tonight. Charlie there is about 3 seconds clear of Mike. Jay all over the back of Craig here as they start the final lap of the race. There's Nick, a few seconds clear of Pop the Brown still. Cobb there a little bit deep, might allow Craig to get a little bit closer here in the closing stage of this race. 8 of you currently watching here live on YouTube. If you guys are enjoying the action, please do smash that like button and subscribe. If you want to get involved in the action on track, then go to www.motiveracing.com. As Jay getting closer to the back of Craig here with half a lap left to go. Can he have another crack at him here? Nick Levillo's dropped off for this battle here. He's now 2 seconds adrift in 8th place, so I think his chances of getting into the top 5 are pretty much out of the window. Can Craig and Jay get onto Cobb here? Park was pulled away from these guys a little bit over the course of this last lap here. Mike there is well up the road in 3rd place. John Boy though is well ahead of everybody else here in his first race. He has been undeniable, he has been unstoppable here in this one. John Boy up towards the line, a flash of lights from him in his first appearance in the touring cars of season 15. John Boy over the line to take the opening race of the night here at Brno for round 2. Obviously race 4 of this season. Charlie Goff coming through the final corner. It's going to be a 2nd place for him, a few seconds clear of Mike. So the 2 guys who weren't here last week finishing 1st and 2nd. Mike there over in 3rd place ahead of Park Hooper, who finishes in 4th. Cobb there P5 ahead of Craig in 6th. Jay comes over to finish this one in 7th place ahead of Nick Lavilla, who's got a hanging bumper there in 8th. Pop Hooper comes there, Pop Hooper, I keep calling him Pop the Brown, Pop Hooper. Pop the Brown, P9. Aussie Albie comes over to take P10 with Team MW in 11th place with a big damage there on the front as well. Opted not to get that fixed, obviously, because he would have lost more time by coming in than he would have done by just putting up with the damage anyway. But what a drive from this man here. John Boy completely dominant in that race. Charlie Goff was also a step ahead of the others as well, but not on the league of John Boy. Obviously these 2 benefited from that reverse grid massively, as they weren't here last week, but they both signed up to the championship, so they were both entitled to take very high up good positions, and obviously their light fuel loads as well would have helped them out significantly. I got Glenn in the comments saying nice not to be racing for a change and watch others. Good to see you in the comments, Glenn. Obviously Glenn does race with us on Sunday night in the GT3 Championship on a Assetto Corse Competizione, but good to hear he likes to unwind and watch just in his spare time. Obviously I like watching sim racing in my spare time. If I'm not commentating, I sometimes watch AOR or PSGL. You know, it's good to relax and unwind and watch real people driving pretend cars, because it's real competition. It's, you know, it's sport at the end of the day. But guys, we're going to be on a new stream very shortly, so don't go anywhere for the 2nd race.